All right, we're going to talk about inpainting. This is DALL-E 2. I'm just going to upload an image. It's probably the easiest way to inpaint. So let me just take, here's an image that I have uploaded. I'm going to click edit. And this is from The Great Gatsby. And maybe instead of this specific dress, maybe we want a different dress here. So just going to roughly erase these parts here. You don't have to be really strict and exact because AI is magic and it does a lot of the work for you, which is nice. But yeah, here we go. So I've erased a lot of the image, and this is all within the generation frame. I'm just going to put in here let's say an azure and yellow swirly flapper dress. Dirty Great Gatsby. All right, you can see the tip here. It's telling you, wants you to describe the whole image, not just like containing a flamingo. If we just put containing a flamingo as the prompt, that would not work very well. But if you put the whole image description and also what you need in here, then that works much better. And that's what I've done here. So I said an azure and yellow swirly flapper dress, Great Gatsby, and then just going to hit generate. And it's going to basically just generate AI within this edited out version here. And this can be done not just inside the frame, but also outside the frame. They call it outpainting. We add another section to it. I'll show you that in a second. But it's basically the same mechanism. It's really just creating space, creating white space, and then generating within. One of the things inpainting does is it takes the whole rest of the image into account, which is really helpful. And then it also gives you multiple variations. This is the original image, and then here we go. We've added a dress, this here, and that here. And that's kind of makes it look naked. It doesn't look very good, but it's not done a very good job. I think generally because DALL-E is not that good of an image generation model compared to the state of the art like Stable Diffusion and Midjourney. Midjourney unfortunately doesn't allow inpainting. It doesn't support it. It doesn't do it right now. What I tend to use is Stable Diffusion, and I have this running. If you're going to use Stable Diffusion, I use it through the Stable Diffusion A1111 inpainting model. So I just have this running. If you need to install it, we have another course on that. The Stable Diffusion Web UI has instructions for how to install. But once you get it running, you can actually just use local models. So this is a specific inpainting model here. And we're just going to put in, I'm going to go to image. I'm going to put in this image, this one. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go inpaint, sorry. And then put that image. Here we go. And then I'm going to start drawing. So I'm just going to get rid of these parts of the dress. Okay, and then just get rid of this parts of the dress up here. So you can see it's a very similar interface, except this is all open source and free, which is nice. So you can make a lot of mistakes if you need to. All right, so that is that. And then we're just going to put this same prompt in here and see how it does. So I would say keep it simple at first, don't change any of the parameters, just see how it does. And then we can make changes to the parameters based on whether the image completes well or not on that first go. Okay, so this is generating. And this is just generating one by default, but you could have it generated more here if you like. Okay, so I think this is actually already better than what we got from DALL-E, which is nice, and we haven't really done that much prompt engineering. There's a few different things we can do. So one is we're not really getting much from this dress. So I'm just going to press Command up, and that's going to basically emphasize it a little bit. I'm going to do that 1.2 weighting. You can just do this manually as well by putting it in brackets and putting a colon. So that's, I think we're going to do that. Oh, sorry, I just missed out this part here as well. Sorry. So let's improve that. And then we can also choose a few different things here. The mask blur is how much we blur the image. The mask mode, we want to inpaint the things that are masked, not. But if we were trying to generate the rest and keep the same dress, then we'd click inpaint not masked. The mask content parameters here, this does is you can either fill, which generates, basically it fills in this gap with the same colors from the rest of the image. So that gives it a different starting point. Also original, so it starts filling it in with the original image. And then we have latent noise, which basically fills it with a lot of image noise, and that kind of makes it, this is really useful if you want it to be very different from what we had previously. The other thing you can do here is you can say, I want to inpaint the whole area or just like only the masked area. So we're going to try only masked, and then CFG scale, I'm going to put that up a little bit to 8. This is how much it follows the prompt versus being creative itself. And then denoising, so it's at 7.5. I'm going to put it up at 8.5, or sorry, 0.85, and see how that does. That's going to do, denoising is basically how much it, if you have high denoising, then it's going to add a lot of noise to the image before it diffuses. Whereas if you have low denoising, it's not going to add very much. So essentially, if you want it to be very similar to the original, then you would use original mask content, whole picture, and low denoising. But if you want it really different, like here we're trying to input like a whole new different type of dress, then I would say we want to use these sorts of settings, and it is a crapshoot. So like this, I think is too similar to the original dress, and that's the problem. Cool. I'm going to generate, but I'm also going to generate. I'm going to generate four images, and this is going to do them one at a time. If I wanted to generate 4 all at the same time, that sucks up a lot of VRAM. Depends on your computer, but it might be quite slow. So I'm just going to do them in batches. So just do one per batch. That's going to run. You can see that running here. We're going to see how that does. There is one other thing we can try if this doesn't work as well, which is something called control net inpainting. You can see here, by the way, as well, that I'm using a specific inpainting model. If you want to get that, I can show you how to get that while we're waiting. Everything you need to know about AUTOMATIC1111 is in here. Super useful. So installation. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Okay, just going to find the link to the models. Yeah, here we go. So here's the inpainting model. You could just Google it as well, but yeah, this is it was released by Runway ML. They originally helped create Stable Diffusion, and you can get the model file in here, files and versions, and then you just go in here. It's like inpainting checkpoint file, CKPT. All right, so this is running, and I think it's almost done. All right, first thing it does is gives a grid. So at least it's a yellow dress, which is kind of nice. There's some blue, azure blue swirls here. That dress is much better. There we go. This is like so much better than what we got from DALL-E. It's actually form-fitting. I think it's really good. That's much better. And then we might want to just do a bit more prompt engineering here, or whatever it is needed. This is swirly, and then we could say maybe vortex whirls inspire in heavy brush strokes, inspired by Van Gogh Starry Night. All right, let's try this one more time. So you can either save images here, or you can click save, or you can actually send it back to inpainting and start again. But also it's in your file system. So if you go into your folder, by the way, this is where you save the new models if you download them. Like I have the inpainting one in here. It's in models, stable diffusion, inpainting. And then if you want to see any of the images you output, if you go in here, this would be under images, and then this is today, and then that's the latest batch of images here. If you ever need to get them, that's where you'd find them. So this is running. Just going to let that run, and then I'll show you two other more advanced concepts within painting. One is control net, and the other is segment anything. And those will be in a different module, a different course. Here we go. This looks much better. So that's like much closer to what I wanted. We've got some prompt engineering going on. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, you can keep messing with that if you want. You can change some of the sampling steps, etc. The other things you can do down here, control net in painting. This, we're not going to go into control net right now, but it's just a way to make the image match much closer to the original image. It works exactly the same. You just upload an image here, and then you want to choose the in-paint model. And then run that, and it should perform better. That should keep it more visually consistent with the rest of the image, if that's what you're trying to get across. And then segment anything is just a way. I'll just quickly show you this. Segment anything is like just a quicker way of finding the thing you want to inpaint. So I just clicked once on the dress on each side, and then once down here, and then just going to preview the segmentation, see if it works. And what it should do is it should just mask out only those parts. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go. This mask has worked. So that's just the dress, right? So it's picked out just the dress here, which is very helpful. So that could make it much more precise when you're doing this. And you would choose the favorite mask, and then you'd run it, and it would just inpaint in this area. And that's much easier than you doing it yourself, right? All right, hopefully that's helpful. There's a lot more advanced stuff you can get in here. You can go much deeper with it, and it is like an iterative process, so it takes a lot of experimentation to get really right. So just keep trying and looking up the parameters if you don't know what they mean.